So how's it going, guys? Welcome to Talk Saints. This is my preview of Southampton versus West Brom at the Hawthorns. Yeah, I'm on previews for a bit now. I thought we'd change it up a bit. So, big game for us after the loss to Liverpool. Unfortunately, Koeman's press conference the sound on it on YouTube went after about 5 minutes, so I only got about 5 minutes of it, which is unfortunate. But in terms of team news, the only player that isn't going to be available for that game is Toby Alderweireld. Now, we were told by Ronald Koeman that he was going to be back for Saturday, but it now looks more like a Tuesday affair for Crystal Palace at home. I'm not too worried about that. We've got Yoshida, we've got Gardos that can fill in there. Of course, Ryan Bertrand is now back from his 3-game suspension. So that means we're going to have our best possible wing-back combination. Probably Sneijderlin should be at full fitness now. He'll probably start, I would like to think, with Wanyama in the middle, just in front of the back four. And like I said in my review video for Liverpool, if we're going to play Stephen Davis or Ward-Prowse in front of those, I would rather have Stephen Davis. Ward-Prowse wasn't great against Liverpool, even his set pieces weren't great. So, like to see Stephen Davis. If we're going to play that, I would rather, to be honest, as you know, have Jurisic or Tadic, or even Shane Long. But that's something I also wanted to talk about, is now the depth we've got in the squad all of a sudden, because even if you look at the bench on Saturday against Liverpool, we had, our bench I think was Kelvin Davis, Gardos, Tadic, Long, Mane, who's the other person? Harrison Reed. And that they were all on the bench. Morgan Schneiderlin as well, they were all on the bench. So we've finally got a fully fit squad for the first time since about October or September, something like that. And also something good that I heard from one of the reporters that turned up at Staplewood today for Ronald Koeman's press conference is that when he got there was only one player out on the training pitch in the pouring rain, and that was Jay Rodriguez, out on grass, in studs, doing strength training, which is great to hear. That's a massive, massive step for Jay. We've been told possibly middle to the end of March, if not a little bit earlier for Jay. And if we could get him back sooner rather than later, that really does put some competition for me as a striker. I think we've got to look at J-Rod now as a striker instead of a wide player because of the depth we've got in the wide areas now, with Elia, Jurisic, Mane and Tadic. Granted, Elia and Jurisic are only loan deals, but by the sounds of it, both of them want a permanent deal. Jurisic didn't even play his first game and he said he wanted it to make it permanent. I think Elia wants to repay to Koeman the trust he put in us. So for me, I think Elia will become permanent as well. But in terms of my starting 11, obviously I'd start with Fraser Forster in goal, Kleiny, Fonte, Yoshida over Gardos. Yoshida's been more consistent. Gardos has still been decent this season, and then Ryan Bertrand at left back, of course. The wall, as I like to call it, in front of the back four of Sneijderlin and Wanyama. And then I would probably see Ward-Prowse or Stephen Davis in front of the midfield too, as I said. But I'd rather have possibly, because I like to say this every single video I do, Tadic in front of the midfield too. And then for me, Elia and Mane out wide again, and put Jurisic or Tadic on the bench. Possibly Jurisic can play central. And for me, Shane Long's got to start up top. Not very fast defence for West Brom, so we could have a lot of luck running behind. I've defended him on many occasions. I'm still going to defend him because I think he's a great player. As Koeman said today in his press conference, he's reminded the team that earlier in the season we were getting a lot of goals from midfield, and it's more of a team thing. We're not going to blame one striker, and that's right. We shouldn't be just blaming Graziano. We should be blaming the whole squad for not. If we're going to blame anyone for not scoring goals, you've got to blame the whole squad. So, but for me, Pella looks tired and drained and just off the pace at the moment, so I think dropping him, giving him a game off would be the best thing to do. Start Shane Long up top with two wingers outside of him. Obviously the pace we'd have up top then if you started Mane, Long and Elliott, that would be absolutely electric. I think we could really do some damage to West Brom with that. Speaking of West Brom, of course, it's at home for West Brom. If you look at their last couple of results, they've been a bit hit and miss. They've had a 0-0 at Everton away from home. Only just managed to scrape a 2-1 win in the FA Cup against Birmingham, and then lost quite badly 3-0 to Spurs at home. 2-2 against Burnley away from home. 2-0 win against Swansea at home. Then that's not a mean feat. It beats Swansea, as we know. And then, of course, 2 weekends ago, the massive 4-0 win in the FA Cup over West Ham. And then a 0-0 over Sunderland away. It's going to be a tough game. They've really been regimented well since Tony Pulis has come in. Really stiffened up defensively, which may put a doubt in the players' minds, because considering how bad our opportunity creating and finishing has been in the past couple of games. But if I was going to predict the score, I'd like to see 2-0. Despite having Berahino up top, I don't see them offering a lot going forward. And with our defence and Fraser in net, I don't see them scoring. I see us keeping a clean sheet. And for me, I think if you start Shane Long up top, even if you start Graziano up top, like Cohen's been persisting with him, I think against the two centre-halves he'll have a lot of luck. Even if Olsen plays, I don't know if Olsen's fit or not, but even if he does play against Olsen, I think he'll have a lot of luck. But I think, despite West Brom probably playing the same style as Swansea and West Ham did when they came to us, they are at home, so they may play more open football, in which case I think we can capitalise on that. So 2-0 prediction for me. That's going to be all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to give the video a like rating if you enjoyed that. Also click the subscribe button if you're new around here, Saints fan or not. And also leave a comment down below with what your score predictions are. And of course follow Talk Saints on Twitter for Saints opinions, news and giveaways in the future. So thanks for watching the video, and until next time, we will see you next time.